When it's time to construct the running back room ultimately, how do you measure like who these backs are as individual talents and then who they are stylistically as a back?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I can point to an example. It's one of the harder positions to evaluate in this type of setting. Now, you get to see the passing game, but there's been 2 or 3 instances in my past where what I thought a back was going to be was entirely different when we got into pads. And I can think of, just even in Dallas, Marion Barber, the late Marion Barber, Julius Jones, the same. And it's one of those positions that really gets a little bit clearer when you see them in pads, running, blocking. I can recall, a free agent tryout we had that I thought was going to be more of a scat back and then became a much more physical runner than we ever expected. Alvin Kamara was a different player than we thought we were getting when we drafted him. We drafted a guy who was the number 2 back at Tennessee. We saw Joker traits, and then the first handoff in the first preseason game, he goes 52 yards for a touchdown, and all of a sudden we might want to run him off tackle. And so, but that's hard to see here, but it's easier to see when you get into training camp and in the preseason.
Have you been able to figure out anything about the kickoff through this process? What you're going to do?
Well, listen, we spent time on it, and I would say one thing that's going to be necessary, our budgeted time, for instance, that we're so used to in the kicking game, that's got to be able to adjust, because the last 3 years, you'd put in 2 kick returns. Any more than that, you'd ask yourself why, because you weren't getting the opportunities. So I don't think it'll be the amount of returns that requires more time. I think it'll be the unique change to what we've all known. And so that's going to require more time in training camp. And I think it can be an edge for us.